In this video, we'll be introducing and graphing parametric equations. Consider throwing a ball. At each different time, the ball is located in a different position, and that different position has a different x and y coordinate. Furthermore, the action of throwing a ball has a vertical and horizontal effect on the ball. It is going up and down as well as going forward. We can graph this event telling where the ball is located and when the ball is at a given point on its path. The variable t, called the parameter, gives the various times for the ball's location. The equations that describe where the ball is located express both x and y as functions of t and are parametric equations. The graph of a parametric equation is called a plane curve. So as time passes, the height of the ball is changing as well as the horizontal distance. So here's our definition of a plane curve. Suppose that t is a number in an interval I. A plane curve is the set of ordered pairs x, y, where x is equal to f of t and y is equal to g of t for some t in an interval I. So our steps for graphing plane curves is basically we're going to make a beefed up XY chart. We're going to make a TXY chart. We're going to start by selecting some values of t on the given interval. Then, for each value of t, we're going to use the given parametric equations to compute x and y. We'll plot the points in the order of increasing t and connect them with a smooth curve. Please note that when you connect the points to form a smooth curve, you want to include arrows on your curve to indicate the direction or orientation of the graph corresponding to increasing values of t. Let's graph x equals t minus 1 while y equals t squared when t is in between negative 2 and positive 2. So we're going to make an TXY chart. We were given that t is in between negative 2 and positive 2, so when we choose our t values, they need to fall in that interval. Since they're giving us an abrupt starting and an abrupt stopping point for t, we want to make sure that we use negative 2 and positive 2 as two of our t values. I'm going to choose negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. We're now going to plug each t value into our equation x and into our equation y. I think I'm going to do all the x's first. So plugging in t into our x equation, x equals t minus 1. So plugging in negative 2, x is going to be negative 3. Plugging in negative 1, x will be negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1 as we plug in the rest of our t values. Now we'll do the same thing for y. Y equals our t value squared, so we'll just square each of these t values. 4, 1, 0, 1, and 4. And now we have 5 ordered pairs, x, y, that will make up the graph of our parametric equation. So let's plot these points. Negative 3, 4, negative 2, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, and 1, 4. We want to connect these points in increasing t. So we're going to start here with our point negative 3, 4. and finish up here at our point 1, 4. The last thing we need to do is put in our orientation arrows to indicate where we started. And you really want to put one of these arrows in between every single point. So there we go. There's our first graph of a parametric equation. Let's try another one. This time we have the parametric equation x equals t plus 1, while y equals the square root of t, and t is greater than or equal to 0. We're going to make our t, x, y chart again. We are told that t is greater than or equal to 0. So they're giving us an abrupt starting point, but not an abrupt stopping point. So I definitely want to use that starting point for t. So plugging in for 0. And we can choose any values we want for t, but be thoughtful when choosing to make your life easier. Look at what our equations are. X equals t plus 1, so that's no big deal. We can plug in any number and add 1 to it. But y is defined to be the square root of t. I prefer to plot integers whenever possible rather than decimals. So since I see that square root of t, I'd be inclined to choose t values that were perfect squares just to make my plotting easier. So I'm going to choose 1, 4, and 9. And now we plug into each of our equations. I'm going to do all the x's first again. X is t plus 1. So we'll have 1, 2, 5, and 10. And y is the square root of t. So we'll have 0, 1, 2, and 3. And now we have 4 ordered pairs to graph. First up, 1, 0, 2, 1, 5, 2, and 10, 3. We want to draw in our curve in increasing order of t, so we're starting here at 1, 0. Since t just has to be greater than or equal to 0, that means our graph is going to continue to extend, and we're going to just put an arrow on it. And lastly, we need our orientation arrows. We started here at 1, 0 and proceeded to the right.